Hi students, welcome back to physics class. In this class, I am going to teach 12th standard physics, lesson number 8, volume 2, content number 8.1.1, electronic emission. So types of electronic emission. First one is thermionic emission. So this is metal. So metal is made up of electrons. So inside the metal, electrons are random motion at a room temperature. So this metal is heated with the help of burner at a high temperature. So this metal is heated with the help of burner at high temperature. So already this moving electrons has some amount of kinetic energy. So when we heat the metal, the electrons get sufficient energy to remove from the metal. So the electrons are removed from the metal. This is called thermionic emission. So electrons emission from the metal depends on the metal used in temperature. What types of metal we are used in this temperature? Example, cathode ray tube, electron microscope, X-ray tube, etc. For cathode ray tube or X-ray tube, the filament is heated by passing the voltage through the coil. The coil gets heated. So after heating the coil, the filament or coil emits electron. So the coil is made up of electron at room temperature. When we heat the coil by battery, passes the voltage. So the electrons inside the metal get sufficient amount of energy is remove the metal surface. So these types of emission is called thermionic emission. Second types of emission, field emission. So this is metal. Inside the metal, electrons are moving in random manner. It has some amount of kinetic energy. So in between the metal, giving strong electric field with the help of battery. So due to the strong electric field, the electrons emitted from the metal. This is called field emission. So example, field emission scanning electron microscopes, field emission displays. This is called field emission. So this strong electric field is used to pull the electron and helps them to overcome the surface barrier of the metal. So surface barrier means the electrons emits the electrons from the metal is created by nuclei, that is called surface barrier. Third types of electron emission is photoelectric emission. So I told already metal is made up of free electrons. So electromagnetic radiation, example X-rays, ultraviolet rays, gamma rays, visible light. These rays are called electromagnetic radiation. This electromagnetic radiation, the suitable frequency falls on the metal. So the electrons get some amount of energy from the radiation is emitted from the metal surface. This is called photoelectric emission. Example, photodiode, photoelectric cells, is an example of photoelectric emission. Photoelectric cell is a device is used to convert light energy into electrical energy. Then fourth type of electronic emission is secondary emission. So electrons emitted from the hot filament coil. So I told already in second types field emission. First type thermonic emission. Coil is heated with the help of battery. The coil emitted electrons. This is called primary electrons. It travels with a high speed. So the high speed electrons is bombarded, it's on the metal surface. This is high speed electrons is emitted from the hot filament, that is cathode ray tube, X-ray tube. So metal is made of electrons are in random motion, it has some amount of energy. So high speed electrons hits on the metal surface. The random moving electrons absorbs some amount of energy from the high speed electrons. It has sufficient amount of energy, so it's emit from the metal. This is secondary electrons emitted. So this is called secondary emission. Example: image intensifiers and photo multiplier tube.